Can I ask
Yeah,
you a question?
yes.
Can planes actually hover?
If you have technically, yeah, if the wind or the wing doesn't care how air moves over it.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Bad Thoughts podcast. Today we got a special guest, my buddy Micah. We're going to be talking to him about some pilot stuff and his experiences. And yeah, how you doing, bro? How's everything?
Good, very good. This is awesome. Thank you for inviting me. I've never been on a podcast, and
Yeah,
yeah.
got you, bro. Yeah, I hope to get your opinions on some things, and then we'll just bullshit the rest, and just get your ideas. And yeah, how's it going, Candy Camper? What you doing, dude?
It's
How's your
going all
day?
right. How you doing today, Tones? You know what I've been wanting?
What's up?
Some boba.
Dude, ever since George said it, or was it? No, it was OG. He said it. I've been wanting boba hella bad, dude. There ain't shit here.
We have like 4 of them, but they're just gross, and it's weird because it's just a drink. Like, how do you really fuck up a drink?
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you know what boba is?
The tapioca put stuff, or the
Yeah. Do you know what? I just found this out.
It's
what
like
made
dough,
of.
right? It's like dough or something like that.
It's honey.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
Oh shit!
some
I
of
didn't know
them, like
that.
maybe not all of them, but I know some. It's like most of like the balls, right? We're talking about the
Yeah,
balls,
yeah, yeah.
honey balls.
honey balls.
Dude, I didn't know that.
I guess I'm in the honey balls. Speaking
Dude,
of honey, go ahead, Tone.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
So I'll say, speaking of honey, have you ever had mead?
Ooh, I've
I
always
don't.
wanted to.
Yeah,
It's
In
probably
like a ram's horn cup.
yeah, exactly.
like you have to get that feeling. Honestly, like, I'm not a huge drinker, but that's probably the best thing I've ever had in my life. And it was so sweet, but not to the point where you're like, not when you drink like one of those, drinks that with like the 40 different layers of alcohol, colors and stuff. This was just sweet because of the honey, and then it just all of a sudden you're just fucked up. Like, it is a weird fucked up. It's not like a spirit fucked up or a wine fucked up. It's just like its own different section of fucked up.
Do you have to like fight someone after you drink it, or
no? That's why I don't get what all those Nordic things were doing. But this shit,
with a
it makes
sword,
you happy.
you're gonna fuse through people.
yeah, for real, dude.
We have a place out here that they specialize in just mead, and they have like fall flavors, and anything that's in season, they'll make a flavor out of it. So they had like cherry, blueberry, stuff like that. So if you ever see any mead, make sure you just give it a try, and it has to be like a good brand. I was reading into some stuff and talking to the people. If you get like a cheap brand, it's mostly watered down and not real honey. They'll use like syrups and stuff. So you want real honey.
Nice.
Dude, that's crazy. I didn't know there's a place where they specialize in mead, dude. Like,
yeah, dude.
Ever.
It's called a meadery.
No shit. Oh hell no.
You ever play Skyrim?
Hell yeah.
See?
Hell yeah. That's the best game. Witcher is the best though.
Witcher's really good.
Have you guys watched the show?
Oh.
So
we want to talk about that. It's terrible.
Yeah, you don't like it?
It's because I read the book. Starting to read the book.
Oh, okay.
I think that happens a lot where you end up reading the books and you're like, what the fuck is this? And that happened to me with the second Harry Potter movie. The second Harry Potter book was one of my favorite books, but the movie itself was trash.
Yeah. No, that's why the main actor left, because this guy, he like built game computer, read it all, and now it's like he's leaving because they didn't stay to the source material. It's like, if you're gonna adapt a novel, how about maybe stick to what you're adapting instead of because it's like the author did the work for you, most of the work.
A good example of that is the Percy Jackson books. Like, they stuck pretty good, pretty close to the books, but
yeah,
it still wasn't. The second one didn't do as well. Just I think they went a little cheap on it. But even the new show, watching the trailer looks just like the first movie did. So Disney is going in the right route of keeping to the book. So hopefully they do a good job.
And the actor was Henry Cavill, right?
For
yeah. Some of the people were saying that he quit because of the not sticking to the material, but he was supposed to do the whole Superman thing, and then that they nixed that, and then they had rumors of him going to play in House of the Dragons. That probably not going to happen. It will. I thought about. I was like, yeah, I think it'd be cool, but at the same time, because like all the big actors aren't really like huge in the industry yet. You know what I'm saying? So I think it would
Hmm.
be kind of weird having him in there, but at the same time, he's a good actor, so
I
you
know.
never know.
You kind of have, especially for like epic fantasies like that, you kind of have to like have a no name because
Exactly.
you're not gonna get immersed in the high fantasy if it's like, oh, Chris Pine is playing Aragorn in the Lord of the Rings remake. It's like,
Yeah.
Well,
I'm out of it.
they started
Yeah.
doing that with what's his name from what's the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy?
Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chris
they
Pratt.
started doing that with him and
Yeah.
kind of throwing him into these weird, like not, I guess superhero roles, but also like the more adventurous roles. Like I totally thought he was gonna be Indiana Jones. Like I thought that was gonna be a for sure thing, and I'm actually surprised they didn't do that. But the whole Jurassic Park thing, I just feel like they're kind of milking him for what he is right now too. So I can totally understand
He
where
was
kind of
actually
need.
pretty good in Jurassic Park. Like the movie all around wasn't that good, but his acting wasn't that
And
bad.
you know why? Because they didn't stick to the books once again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I never thought of it
What a
like that.
concept.
Right?
Did you like House of the Dragon?
Oh yeah, I loved
Yeah.
it. I loved it. Yeah, that was like surprising. I hated season 8 of Game of Thrones, so I was kind of going in skeptical, but
Yeah.
House of the
I don't think
Dragon was
anyone
like,
liked season 8.
So let me ask you, Micah,
that's a whole podcast.
Yeah.
yeah, dude,
Yeah.
seriously, and we're gonna get into it eventually. I told Kenny that we're gonna go into it, but can I get your take on season 8 and why you hated it so much?
Dude, again, this is a whole podcast, but I have contemplated for many hours on how, like, where all the plot holes were and how much better they could have made it. It's just like, dude, you could have had Daenerys do. Okay, this. Long story short, this is my thing. Daenerys should have died way better.
Hmm.
Um, if you're gonna make her go mad, fine. Don't do it in a 20-second switch
Yeah,
or
exactly.
flip. If you're gonna make her mad, gradually do it. Anyways, but forget the mad. I think it would have been so much better if, like the Long Night episode, episode 3, you watch that and it's like cool during it, but then after you're like, okay,
Yeah.
that was it. How
Yeah.
about have Daenerys die in that battle, saving someone, or how about if she's gonna die in the season, right? Have her do it in a heroic way or in a ruthless way.
And I think
But
she deserved that, dude. Like,
yeah,
and my biggest thing, I I've always said this is the character buildup was historical for both Jon Snow and Daenerys. Those
yeah,
character buildups were so fucking
legendary.
it's so legendary, and the way they pretty much in one death it killed both of their fucking character builds
I know.
just by
And
him
then it's like,
stabbing her killed everything.
yeah, then it's like, why did I watch? She was always ruthless. She was always
Hmm.
like you don't want to fuck with her, but never towards innocents, ever.
No,
And it was always towards her enemies. And it's
and
like,
that was her character. Like the
yeah,
innocent was helping the
yeah,
innocent.
yeah. Cersei surrendered. All the Lannisters threw down their swords. Just bam, fly to the Red Keep, burn her. Boom, you're the savior. Everyone loves you. Oh,
Yeah.
let's do A10 strafing runs.
Blow up the whole city, dude. Yeah,
Freaking
it was
Vietnam
awful.
King's Landing. That was so stupid.
So I was told that the worst part about it was they had no budget for that show for season 8. They were told that you don't have a budget, do what you need to do, and then that's the product they produced. So
Just
that's one of the biggest things that fucking irritated me. A no budget season is something that you will never
Unheard of.
see. Yeah.
that, yeah, that. But the directors wanted, the Mickey Mouse
Yeah.
overlords to, because they were gonna do Star Wars, and then they
Star
saw the
Wars, yeah.
backlash, and thank God that didn't happen. So yeah, I'm just glad House of the Dragon is handled by different people.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, we can talk about this for hours, but
I know, I know. Don't get me down that path. I'll start
yeah,
turning away.
let's get to our first topic, bro. So how long does it train how long do you have to train to be pilot and what's the process like?
So it depends. So you have to take lessons, right? So you need to go up with an instructor. You need to do classroom style lessons, all that stuff. If you have most people have jobs and a life and a family, so
Mhm.
it varies wildly. Like some people can get it done in 4 months, and others it takes years. It just depends on how much you do it because most of the flight schools in the country are self-paced and self-study. You can go to structured, syllabus type schools where you're also getting a degree. Um, it's a lot more expensive, but at least, okay, I get my degree, and at the end of 4 years, I have all my uh,
Does it make a
licenses
difference
that I
though?
need.
Or is it
No,
at
not
the end of the day,
really.
if you have a license, you have a license, then
At the end of the day, FAA says you're licensed to fly this, you're licensed to fly that.
how many
It's
hours do
Wow.
you
just,
have?
I have over 3,100
Holy crap,
total,
that's a lot.
but it just, hours is hours. It's just like you just put it in a logbook. It's experience is what, sets you apart from others. So like you can see like 3,000 hours of one thing, but um, if you haven't seen certain situations, then you need to be able to see the situation and then get the experience and be like, oh, I know what to do next time. Um, but yeah, so it it wild it varies wildly. Like I did my lessons. I got mine in 30 days, which is pretty unheard. It's pretty wild. I did it with my best friend. Him and I got it together, but that's flying twice a day, studying in between. My pathway to it was
So
very
you're
unique.
telling me that you flew a fucking plane in 30 days?
Well, I first flew a plane when I was like 12 years old. Um, I landed a plane before I drove a car. It's just always been in the family.
Yeah, that's
Um,
crazy.
so it's just, again, I have a unique situation. My uncle was an airline pilot. My mom was a flight attendant. My uncle started a flight school in Hawaii. So I'm blessed to say the least. Like, there's not many wannabe pilot nephews in the world that has an uncle that starts a flight school and it's like, hey, uncle, can I be a pilot? Yeah, sure. Come on over. So it's like, again,
You
I'm
had a
just
dream and
blessed.
actually did it.
Yeah, I
That's
know
crazy.
it's dude, it's surreal. Like I'll be, it's so you are at your dream when you're at home going like you don't being away from home sucks because when you work you're away from home. But when you're in this job and it's just like, dang, I kind of miss it, even though you just worked 5 days ago. Like
Yeah,
that's how you know that yeah,
you're living your dream.
like
That's
holy,
awesome,
like this
man.
is great. So yeah, it just so yeah to sum it all up, it just depends. It can take 4 months. It can take years. It just depends on how often you do it, and it's very expensive. So that's another part of it too.
Yeah, and so you knew from the start that you wanted to fly a plane. Like
Yeah,
that was your dream. Eh,
yeah. There's pictures of me at like 5, 6 years old. I don't even know what it was. It was just
That's
like
crazy.
it's just like the little toddler was just because you know how sometimes toddlers like just they'll just fascinate on something, but I guess that was my fascination.
You know what's
Yeah.
crazy? I've never sat here and thought I wanted to fly a plane. I don't trust myself. Like even
Dude,
even when I drive a boat, I'm like, "Dude, this is fucking crazy because I'm literally skipping on water." Like, that's all I'm
you,
doing.
you know how you had that same exact feeling when you first drove a car?
Yeah, yep.
Like
Yeah.
for the first time with your mom or dad or whoever, you're like, "Holy crap." Flying becomes like driving. It's just like
I
it's it
mean, you're
you
in a
do it.
big
No,
ass
I'm serious.
plane.
You you do it enough. It's all the other stuff that makes it like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
But just doing this, it's just like driving.
You're
Eventually it
making it sound like
becomes
it's that easy.
no, no, no. It's not. It takes a lot of hard work and time. All I'm saying is that it you do it enough. It's just like flying is not hard. I promise you, you could fly if I could bring you up in an airplane, I would have you flying in 30 seconds. It's
For
not
sure.
hard to just like fly straight. What is hard is to do like all the studying and the testing and like the maneuvers, and then landing obviously takes a little bit of practice, but flying itself is not hard.
What is the
Gotcha,
hardest
gotcha.
part then? Like
The
for
hardest
you
part,
to like, what took you the longest to learn or to master? Let's put it that way. What took you the longest to master? Like what steps?
so yeah, two things with that. There's for every single license, there's the knowledge part of it, like the testing, and then there's also the physical skills. So the knowledge part, the hardest part is to get through the oral exams where you sit with an FAA examiner and he or she grills you on just everything, or not everything because they can't because there's no time, but everything is open. It's
Wow.
open season in terms of your knowledge, like what talking about weather, navigation, aircraft systems, all that stuff. So getting through the oral is the hardest part because you're sitting across the table and it's kind of just like Q&A and discussion. And it's like, if you don't know your stuff, you better know where to look it up. And if the examiner starts seeing there's holes in your knowledge, then it's just downhill from there. So you get through the oral, you get through the written test, then you can do the flying test. And I would say, so yeah, the hardest part knowledge wise was getting through the oral. And then the thing that took me the hardest to master was for my commercial pilot's license. One of the maneuvers is called the power off 180, where it's basically just a demonstration of mastery of the aircraft, like how well can you fly? Because there's many different licenses, but once you get the commercial pilot's license, it's like, okay, you better know how to fly at this point if you're going to be a commercial pilot. So the power off 180 is where the runway is off your shoulder down there, whichever shoulder, and the examiner, instructor, whoever asking you to do the maneuver, you need to pull your power to idle. So basically, you turn the plane into a glider, and then you need to land exactly where you say you're going to land. So it's all energy management because you need to factor in wind, you need to factor in weight, you need to factor in so many things, and it's like, okay, I have no power, I can't use power to go up, I can't pull out power to go down. It's purely just managing
Glide.
your gliding energy to put it exactly where you're going to say you put it on the runway. So like let's just say you come up, like you're turning to line up with the runway. But then it looks like you're going to come up short from where you said you were going to land. Well, you don't have any power to fix it. You're kind of screwed. You don't actually shut the engine off. You just simulate it and pull the power to idle. If you're high and you're going to go way past where you said you're going to land, then you got to start putting your flaps out. You got to start increasing the drag, doing whatever you need to do to get it to land on that spot. Because on the test, your tolerance is -0 feet, so you cannot land an inch before where you say you're going to land,
Wow.
and then you
So
get
you had to
200
be
feet
spot
past that.
on.
You have to be, yeah. It's just spot on with your how well you manage the kinetic energy of the plane and being able to see before it even happens, like, oh, I know by this action that's going to make me low, or I know I'm going to be high. So it's like, how do you get ahead of the airplane and stay ahead of it with all the things kind of coming in, like wind? If you have a strong wind, it's going to push you off. So it's like, that was the hardest for me, physical, like skill wise, to get used to. It was frustrating,
I
but
feel like that would be hard for almost anybody.
yeah, I mean, it like some people have their hardest thing is what's hard for one person may be easy for another person.
Mhm.
So it's just that one is challenging. I mean, that's why it's a commercial pilot maneuver. But um, once you do it and it clicks, it's just like, oh, okay, I kind of know like what went wrong, what went well. Um, yeah, it's just managing your speed.
How many times did you have to do that?
Oh, dude, there was times where because I would be with my instructor and I would have to like switch instructors because maybe and by switching instructors it actually helped because sometimes all it takes is just a person to say something just a little bit differently for your brain to
To remember?
to like take it in. And
Gotcha.
I remember like I was having trouble with it, and then the instructor that I went to after mine, he said airspeed is king. And I don't know why. And I know that airspeed is what makes a plane fly, like air going over the wing, and you need to be moving in order to stay up in the air. You can't just we're not a helicopter where we can hover. But
Yeah.
he said airspeed is king. And I don't know why that stuck with me because then now when I heard that, I started focusing more on my airspeed when I was doing that maneuver. And basically, when you turn into a glider, there's a set speed that's like perfect, like where you're gonna get the most amount of distance when your engine is simulated to be off. So I
Mhm.
focused on that speed, and it
Can I ask you
yeah,
a
it worked.
question?
Yes.
Can planes actually hover?
If you have, so technically, yeah, if the plane doesn't know how, or the wing doesn't care how air moves over it. Normally, the propeller pulls the plane through the air, and that causes air to go over the wing, and then the wing is like, oh, lift. However, let's just say you're sitting on the runway, right? And you had 120 knot wind coming directly at the airplane. To the wing, it's 120 knots of air going over the wing. The plane will want to fly. So there's videos on YouTube. You can look it up. Where it's like, I don't know, ground
So,
speed of just search like ground speed of 0, and you'll see planes in the air just like this, not moving, because the wind is like so strong that the engine isn't strong enough to punch through that.
so speaking of that, I did. This is the one of the videos I wanted to show you, and if you kind of explain, I believe this is kind of what you're talking about, but so
Dude, exact. Well, this is different. That's parallax, but parallax is it's all angles and viewing, and it's like
so because this
by
plane's going a little faster, it just looks like it's floating there.
it's yeah, it's because one's going faster, and it's also that plane is moving. You know, like how, what's a good example? You know, like if you're sitting on a train and you look out the window and the other train starts moving, but you stay still, you
Hmm.
feel like you're moving.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
So this is a hoax then, in a
It's
So
sense.
it's not really floating. It's not just frozen there. It's actually moving like
no,
really.
no. That's parallax. It's a paradox.
Gotcha.
Just parallax is viewing. It's like a paradox with your viewing angle.
Yeah, that was one of the videos I wanted to show you because it was one of those weird things, and we had no idea what the hell it was.
Yeah, no. There's a lot of weird videos online with planes, like the UFOs and stuff.
What's the
Yes.
weird? No, I'm saying, what's the weirdest thing you've seen while flying?
You just open up a can.
I know.
No, we're not. I
How
mean,
about
we can ask about UFOs if you want, but I mean, I know you've probably seen some weird shit flying.
I've seen a penis crop circle.
Hey. Holy shit!
Some farmer was having fun.
That's awesome.
Where was that? That was by Sacramento in
Oh
the fields
god.
there.
Yeah, sounds about
No,
right.
um,
Have
I
you ever
think
seen something like while flying, like in the air?
yeah. I mean, it's really cool to see the Milky Way at night. I've seen Starlink really clearly.
That's dope.
I've seen a rocket launch. Uh, I've just seen cool stuff. I don't think I've seen like any weird stuff. I don't buy all this. Like, I do believe that there's intelligent life out there, but I don't buy like, oh, they only care about America.
Yeah,
The aliens only want to show themselves in America.
yeah, it's
It's
true.
like I don't like
And it's always here. Like you'll see like a rare like in Spain or something, or but it's always the show. Like it gets shown in the U.S. and that's
And
it.
if you notice, always in like, no offense, but like the southern countries or states, like,
And
like
yeah,
yeah,
or Nevada, bro, like that or
yeah,
Nevada.
exactly.
Like
yeah.
Nevada is like the
Are you
cream of the crop.
international or when flying?
Dom-
Am I what?
International?
Do you fly domestic
No,
or international?
just domestic. Yeah,
Yes.
just domestic.
Have you
So
flown international before?
I've gone to Canada, saw the aurora. That was pretty cool.
That's cool.
We
Oh,
were
that's
like
dope.
we were like flying, and it just looked like white haze and stuff. And then I was like, what is that? And then as we get closer, it's like turns green, and we're like, wow, that's so cool. And it's like it's like there's so many things where once you understand what's happening, you appreciate it so much more. Like
Yeah.
the like an aurora is it's so the sun, right? There's no north or south pole in the sun because there's millions of north poles and south poles of like because it's all across the surface, because just the hot goo coming up from the surface is causing that magnetic activity. But anyways, the have you seen those bands coming out from the sun, like the solar flares and stuff
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
come out from the surface? Yeah, so whenever you see a picture like that, you could fit like thousands of Earths in between that band. Like
Holy shit.
like people don't understand the scale of these images. Like you could put a million Earths in the sun and it would fit. I mean, you walk outside on a hot day, right? And you feel the sun, obviously. But do
Yeah.
you know that it's 93 million miles away? And it's like it's just such a big fireball that people it's like I don't know, it baffles me. Anyways, the solar flares, it acts like when it breaks away from the surface, it acts like a rubber band and it snaps out and causes like a crap ton of energy, and then the Earth's magnetic field captures that energy and it comes into the poles, so the North and South Pole, because that's where it's the strongest. And then
Yeah.
it energizes the gas in the atmosphere, and depending on the color, uh, tells you what is being energized. So if is it oxygen, is it nitrogen? It's like so I think I
Oh
think
shit. Okay.
I think green is oxygen, I think. But there's blues, there's oranges.
Yeah, I've
So
seen green and
That's
blue
crazy.
mostly. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know all
You're
that. That's
I didn't
crazy.
either. You're like a walking thesaurus.
I know, right?
No, I always say if I was good at math, I would be in space. I just hate math, and so I took the next down from that and pilot.
You ever thought about doing something at like SpaceX or anything?
Dude, that is where I would work. That's where I am in a past life.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's
Hey,
dope.
I
you already got one goal down. Chill
I
out.
no,
know
I
you.
know. I just
Let someone else have a dream, all right?
I just no, I know. I just can't do math. You have to do math for that.
Yeah, I'm not good at
Yeah,
math
that's
either.
crazy.
Kind of I think Tony was about to ask exactly what I'm thinking. Go for it,
What?
Tony.
No,
The
I
Bermuda
wasn't.
Triangle.
Oh, I wasn't gonna ask that yet, but we can go
Oh,
there.
okay. Yeah, we got to go
Oh,
there. Let's do
We can
this.
go there. So, can you tell us like when something goes over the Bermuda Triangle and you hear these planes going missing, and I know there's like I believe it's like a magnetic field that fucks up like radar and shit over there, if I'm not
Radar.
mistaken. Radar. But can you explain shit like what happens over the Bermuda Triangle and why a lot of shit just goes missing over there,
I mean,
specifically planes?
it could be, it could, shit. We could speculate on so many things. I'll just start off with I don't know, but I do know it's like there's a lot of things that can interfere with navigation, obviously, and communication. There's shit when we're flying. Sometimes the military will be running jamming procedures, like just radar jamming or GPS jamming, and we'll get notified like, oh, we can't do this type of approach because the GPS isn't working. So like
Mm,
the military was like they constantly do that, and and that's why we have to avoid flights through certain restricted areas, like Area 51. You can't fly through. Um, there's
Is there a certain height
there's
you have
air,
to be to? Does that matter? Like certain
yeah,
fly zone?
some military restricted airspaces will have a ceiling. Um, you have to look up what it is and stuff. But so yeah, you can if it's
It's
not
not.
active, you can fly through it.
Just gotta look up, man. There's a sign up there. Just
Yeah, no, there's so many charts and there's so much paperwork involved, and yeah, there's just a lot of stuff. But yeah, no, there's things that can interfere naturally, like you wouldn't want to fly over a volcano directly over because maybe the heat, the convective current, or I don't know, whatever, something could mess up. You don't want to fly over military installations like in Hawaii on the very west side of Kauai. There's a military base called Barking Sands, and it's people say it's old. I think it's because it has like radioactive sands and stuff. I think that's where our nuclear missiles are. Um, because if you think about it strategically, it's the furthest west point
yeah.
of American territory, west like the west side of Kauai. Alaska, the chain does probably go out farther than Hawaii, but Yeah, there's on our charts. It's like, oh, you may get electromagnetic interference if you fly over
Mhm.
here and blah blah blah. So, but for the Bermuda, there could be something maybe underneath the ocean that's, I don't know, causing some natural disturbance. But I think the most logical answer would be just weather,
Yeah.
just
Weather.
just clouds, just you know, people. A lot of the times, people like, especially there's a specific license to fly in bad weather, to fly into clouds. Your first pilot's license, you're not allowed to fly into a cloud. You have to avoid them because you can get spatially disorientated and you have to trust your instruments. And so that's the instrument rating. It's a whole other license. So there's lots of every year there's pilots that die because they inadvertently or I don't know, just knowingly choose to fly into a cloud and they're not rated to do so, and then they get spatially
Damn.
disorientated. Dude, there's so many different types of spatial disorientations. Like, you'd be surprised. Like the moment you lose your sight of like, what's going on. That's why you get motion sickness because your eyesight isn't jiving with what the fluid in your inner ear is feeling. And so when there's a desync there, motion sickness.
Motion
When
sick.
there's a
Okay.
when there's a desync in what you're seeing, and then let's just say you're flying in a cloud, and now you start trusting that inner fluid, dude. Like I would demonstrate to students that like I'd tell them to like close their eyes, and I would do a full 360 in the plane, but the turn was so gradual that the fluid in your inner ear didn't feel it. And I asked them, I was like, so what did we do? And they were like, I think we just flew straight for 2 minutes. And then I show them on the thing
The flight path.
what we did, and they're like, dude, we flew a circle. Like, you don't even feel
You
it.
don't know.
So I think Bermuda Triangle most of the time it's, again, speculation. It could be anything, but I think it's maybe pilots if they get lost. Usually it's because of flying into clouds. Look what happened with Kobe. I mean, that guy was an instrument rated helicopter pilot, so he was rated to fly into clouds and still got spatially disorientated.
Oh, that's what happened. Wait,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Kobe's pilot or Kobe himself?
No, Kobe's pilot, the helicopter
Oh,
guy.
okay.
The
Gotcha.
helicopter guy was scud running. Basically, scud running is when you try to just stay underneath the clouds and just like kind of just stay in between the ground and the cloud and navigate that way. But that's
Hmm.
super dangerous because once you lose like your situational awareness to where you are, you start lining up the Swiss cheese, and once all those holes align, bad things can happen. So yeah, it's
Damn.
unfortunate. It's unfortunate that happened.
What about are you into roller coasters? Like, do you ride roller
I
coasters?
wasn't when I was a kid, surprisingly. But yeah, no, now I am.
And then like G-force ratings like in a plane versus like on a roller coaster. Is it
Oh,
it's a
well, it depends on the aircraft, but see if I remember correct, I don't know. Man, it's been so the little tiny Cessnas, I think they're good up to 2.5 Gs structurally. Doesn't mean you should. Oh
do
yeah, let's pull two. Doesn't mean doesn't mean you should yank it that way, but yeah, it's good up to 2.5 and good to like between negative 1.5 and 2.5 Gs, something like that. I haven't flown it in a while. Um, you're probably getting more G's on a roller coaster.
really? Okay.
Now, how many different planes have you flown?
Different
Oh,
types?
Yeah, different type of
uh,
planes.
usually it's not a lot of types, just a lot of different models. Like model types meaning like airplane with one engine with three wheels in the front, or like there's different like there's two engines, there's seaplanes, there's tail draggers with the wheels in the back.
What's your favorite?
So
Like, are you more like a Boeing kind of person or
well, yeah, you want to. I've always when you want to be a pilot, you always want to fly the big jets. So my favorite plane is the Boeing 787. I just think it looks so
is that the one with
gorgeous.
like the lights and shit inside and like
They
the blue lights?
the
They
new
all have
ones kind
lights
of have
inside.
that. Yeah,
I
the
know,
new
but
ones
like fancy lights. LEDs, bro.
You
fancy.
got you got LEDs
You
in
got
these ones,
LEDs
bro.
in that $100 billion thing we're flying there? How
Like
much is
that
a plane
RG.
actually? Sorry, it's kinda going off topic.
Oh, probably like. Oh, it depends. It's small plane.
That's
Couple. They can
787.
be. Oh, that one? Oh,
Yeah.
maybe like 80 million. I don't know,
Holy shit!
50, 80
It better have
million.
fucking LEDs in it. Come on.
Yeah, it better it has really good RGBs like your computer. No, yeah,
Yeah.
the 787, dude, the windows on that, there's no like slide to block out the sun. You just push a button and the glass itself dims.
Oh, dude,
Oh,
that
that's
is
dope.
cool.
That is
Yeah.
That
dope.
is cool.
Yeah, I love it. But I'll never be able to fly that because yeah, that only there's many different other airlines. My airline doesn't have that.
Do you have to be so it's by airline, it doesn't have anything to do with your status as a pilot?
Like your license,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just if the airline is offering it because you go to training to get. That's the thing. There's so many licenses. Like we could get into all of it, but then there's also things called type ratings where it's like, okay, I am type rated to fly in this aircraft only. And then if you want to fly in a different one, you need to go through 2, 3 month training program to get a type rating for that plane. Because just because you can fly like one airliner doesn't mean you know how to fly the other. You know how to fly, but not like all the buttons and switches are different, and the flows and the procedures and all that.
That's
So
crazy.
so how was it instructing people when you were an instructor? You were an instructor in Hawaii, right?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
like 3 years, dude. It's crazy. Like I miss it. I miss it was awesome when the student tried.
Mhm.
Like when the student showed up and busted ass and put in the work and came with questions and took your critiques and paid attention during briefings and debriefings, it was great. When you had that half-ass like, oh yeah, this is just like driving a car, or I'm not gonna, because a lot of, I would say like more than half of the people think it's just like, I don't know, they know that it's flying a plane, but they don't understand the amount of studying that comes behind it.
Gotcha,
Like
gotcha.
and day one of my students, I always told them like flying is not hard. Trust me, anyone can do it. The hard part is the amount of things that you have to know and be able to regurgitate or come up with in an exam. And none of the stuff is hard. Like we're not talking calculus and physics and trigonometry. You don't need to know that. Like I said, I hate math. It's just the amount that makes it
Mhm.
hard. Um, so it's just a lot of studying. And like I said, there's you gotta know navigation, communication, aircraft systems, weather, um, weight and balance, flight planning. There's just
What about
so
the
much.
air traffic control? Like, how close are you with them? And as my buddy's an air traffic control agent, and he basically has, like he doesn't sleep, it seems like this guy has no sleep. He's always,
Yeah, they're
like,
short
alert.
staffed. The
It's
FAA
crazy.
is like they're hurting. They're hurting for air traffic controllers. That's why there's some delays like on the East Coast because the East Coast is so just there's so many planes in such a tiny area that there's been delays because the FAA doesn't have enough
I heard
controllers.
there's a lot of, mental, like people break very easily in that position.
Yeah, I think over the years there's always a supervisor. Uh,
Mhm.
Sometimes like in big airports, multiple supervisors. There's always more people standing behind the guy at the desk, basically kind of like overseeing and watching it. And like the shifts, depending on the busyness of the tower. Like if you're at a little airport in the middle of nowhere, that guy's probably working like a full shift. But if you're working at like LaGuardia or LA or any of these airports, their shifts, I don't know exactly how long, but I know they aren't like 4 hours. Like
Okay.
they take, and sometimes they switch. Sometimes they go from tower to ground, or they go from ground control to ramp
So you
control.
stay fresh, you're not just hyper focused
Yeah,
into
because it's too.
make
Oh
sure
no,
the
dude, it's too much. Don't quote me on it, but I heard somewhere that the LaGuardia controllers they do 20-minute shifts. That could be
wow.
wrong. That could be wrong, but I wouldn't. I agree with that because you're so it's so just fast paced, dude. You freaking Chicago. There's hundreds of taxiways, and how many letters are in the English alphabet? 26, and there's hundreds of taxiways. So what do you think they do with when they run out of letters to name taxiways? They double the letter. So instead of Alpha Taxiway, this one is now Alpha Alpha or Bravo November or Bravo Delta. So you'll be taxing there is nuts. Once you get it, it's cool. But first time you're there, they'll be like, all right, taxi to 33 left via Alpha Bravo November, right turn Charlie, hold short, Foxtrot, contact ramp on this frequency. And then it's just like
Like,
left turn, cat,
Hey Siri,
mouse,
what was that?
dog.
by
Yeah.
the way, do you ever get like, because I've heard a couple people when they go to land, when they're talking to air traffic control, I don't understand a fucking word they're saying. Do you ever get confused or like don't understand what they're saying, or do you automatically know
Yeah, I
what
mean,
they mean?
yeah, if they don't enunciate well, yeah, I just say, hey, say again. Um, in the beginning, you're like, dude, it's so funny watching when you're teaching because it's funny because you remember being the student and then sounding
Hmm.
like an idiot, and then now when you teach, it's kind of funny because it's like, dude, I remember sitting there and like being there. Like the funniest, I won't say his name, but the funniest, one of the funniest I've had was like air traffic control. We were flying and they said, "Hey, Cessna, blah blah blah, say altitude," and my student went altitude.
Altitude.
Like, and I just looked over, I laughed, and I was like, dude, no, what is our altitude right now? Like,
He's just, yeah, that's funny.
Do you
so
ever?
like
Oh,
it's
sorry.
hard, dude. When you start, it's hard. Like you're like, okay, what do I say? Like, because there is a structure. Like you can't just like talk to them like your boys. You kind of have to have like a professional structure to it. Once you get
Yeah,
better with it, you can kind of find like some shorthand here and there. But it's all like I would tell them it's always okay who you are, where you are, and what you want to do. So it'd be like San Francisco ground, United 2342 at gate Bravo 14 with the current weather request push. So to get someone to regurgitate that in that order, it's hard the first time. They're like, ground.
yeah,
What do I say?
yeah.
It's like it's just practice. It's just all practice. The best way to do it is just get
They're
them on the
carrying
radios day
people.
one.
That's the thing too. Like you're in charge of people's lives. And do you ever think about that way? Like if I mess up,
Oh yeah, that I think that's why pilots get paid very well
Mm,
because it's just like when you at the end of the day, our job, like actually doing the job, is pretty. It's not easy, but it's not hard. Like we're just like someone's doing our flight planning for us. Because back when you're learning, you got to do all your fuel calculations, all your way and balance calculations, planning. Okay, I'm going to fly this heading at this point. It's going to take me 4 minutes to go from here to here, and you got to make it on point because you need to know how much gas you got to bring,
Yeah.
right? But when you get to the airlines, it's kind of like it's like you've done all that hard work, and so now once you get like your PhD level, it's kind of like someone there's a career specifically for dispatching flights, and they're called dispatchers. So they do all of our fuel and stuff. So all we do is we get in the plane, we get it ready, we turn it on, make sure it's good to go, safety wise, maintenance wise, and then it's again, like I said, it's just like driving a car.
do you
You
ever
just you do
think? Because this is this is a good question. Sorry. So you just said the key word to me. It's like driving a car. Cars are being driven by themselves now. We have AI technology.
oh, dude. Anything robotic can be hacked. Imagine if someone hacked the airplane, what they could do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dude,
Yep.
that's a controllable missile.
Yep.
So,
See.
okay, but then let me play devil's advocate and say, well, what if we make the AI so good that it like counters the hacking? Okay, fine. Tell a robot to do the Hudson landing.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
there is no I don't see AI ever getting to the point where it can go, oh, dual engine failure. The best course of action right now, given my altitude, my speed, my wind, my fuel, my weight, I'm gonna put it in the Hudson. The first thing that the AI would think would be what?
Go to LaGuardia and
Let's go to a runway, right?
uh,
And then I guarantee you, like think about how complicated that would be for the AI to know, start turning to the airport and then realizing it. oh wait, I can't make it to the airport. Let me land in the Hudson. Like, there's no, you can't
There's
program.
no human factor into it.
Yeah, you can't
Yeah.
program fear, and
Yeah.
fear sometimes saves you.
Oh yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
I think thinking out of the box like that, like what he did was amazing. So yeah, I don't think. I think if there ever is self-driving, self-flying planes, it would be cargo
That makes
routes.
sense, actually.
If anything, right?
And it'd be
If
just
anything,
direct there and back.
but even then, it's like, what happens if it? You know what I mean? It's just
It's
like,
even heavier that way too, right?
not well, not probably not by much.
Oh, okay.
I the only thing I see happening in the next 100 to 200 years is single pilot flying, and they're already talking about that. So instead of having two pilots, have one, which again is stupid because what happens if that pilot gets incapacitated? And plus, dude, we we make mistakes, like, not we, but people make mistakes all the time. Having two people in the cockpit, like we're a team up there. Like sometimes the captain will do something where I have to go, hey, we gotta, don't do that, we gotta do this, and then they'll be like, oh yeah, shit, my bad, yeah, thanks,
How does that work,
Yeah.
by the
and
way?
then vice versa.
Like, is there someone that's higher up than someone every single time, or are you on the same level? Like, how does that work as far as
Yeah,
rank?
so I'm a first officer, which people say co-pilot, and then captain. Um, the only difference between the captain and first officer, I would say, is just experience. Like, if the captain became incapacitated, the first officer would have to assume command and land the airplane, right? And vice versa. The captain just has way more experience, so they're better fit to make judgment calls. Whereas if you're
Gotcha.
whereas if you're a brand new first officer, yeah, you can fly the plane, you can land it, but are you gonna have the experience to make the judgment call? Like, there's so many things that I haven't seen, and the captains, like, I'll fly out, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, the best thing for here would be to do this." I mean, like,
So
"Oh
it's
yeah,
always a learning experience every flight.
yeah, it is."
How I was gonna say, how was it flying with your cousin? I think it was your cousin, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
He
No,
was he was your pilot or co-pilot?
he was my instructor, so which is pretty weird because
Oh, okay.
it's just like having your instructor teach or having your cousin teach you how to fly. It was cool. It's like he's only doing it for the time because you need 1,500 hours minimum in order to get hired by an American airline. Um, so you got to build the time. So most instructors just do it for the time, and the moment they get their time, they're like, "All right, see ya. I'm going to apply to the airlines." So that's what all of us did as instructors. But having your cousin do it, it's like he can say things like, "Dude, what the fuck are you doing?" Like,
Yeah.
where you wouldn't
You wouldn't have
be
it
able
to
to
say
do
it.
that with like
Yeah.
a normal student. Yeah.
That's funny,
It's
dude.
actually, I think, to me, um, in my line of work, I think it's always easier talking to employees like a human, and it clicks better for them. When you're always by the book, which don't get me wrong, I'm not flying a plane, but like when you're always by the book, sometimes people get stuck into a world of like needing to be too professional. If that makes sense, like, I'm okay, everyone needs to be professional, you're at your job, this is where you get paid, but at the same time, you need
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
human, and that human interaction is how you sometimes just really gravitate towards someone else. If you have a better relationship with your instructor, you're gonna listen better, and you're gonna have, be able to ask more questions because you feel more comfortable with them.
Amen. Yeah. That's why it's so important. Like, it's it's because, like I said, we're a team up there in the cockpit. If you're not getting along with if I'm not getting along with the captain, or the captain's not getting along with me, dude, it's like, and you got to fly with that person for 3, 4 days straight, and you're just sitting in a cockpit together. It's like you can't.
Shit.
It's like you can't leave, right?
Yeah.
So, thankfully, 95% of the captains that I've flown with are awesome.
Okay,
There's
what's the
only been
5% then?
dude, it's always a personality thing. Like, it's
Okay.
always just like I just don't want to hang out with you. I don't like how you're talking. It's usually like like what is like I have a couple examples. Just very like derogatory. Like, most of the times you can get the mission done by just saying, hey, we should probably do this, or hey, what about this? I've flown with captains that are like, dude, what are you doing? They told to descend and maintain 6,000. Like and I know, yeah, I'm making a mistake, but once they cross that line of like,
Almost
because
disrespect the way he's talking to
uh,
you in a way.
yeah, I mean, like, yeah, no, correct me. Like, oh yeah, shit, I didn't hear they told me to descend and maintain 6,000 feet. 6,000 feet. My bad. Thank
Yeah.
you. But when
There's
you
a way to
cross
come off though.
when you cross that line, then it's just like, well, what did I do wrong to upset you? Or now you start going down the rabbit hole of like,
Yeah.
did I say something? Did I do something? And then now it's, if a question arises or you guys need to discuss something, or shit, imagine if like an emergency happens and now you got to communicate with the guy. And then it's like, well, now it's like, well, I'm walking on eggshells now. I don't want to upset you further.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, that's what caused the remember the Asiana crash in at San Francisco?
Yeah.
The,
I got hired at the airport like a month later after that crash.
yeah, that crash was because in their culture, you're not supposed to question your superiors. And so there were four pilots in, again, let me preface this by saying it's one thing to be a backseat flyer and sitting in a nice air conditioned house, and it's another thing to be in the cockpit. Moving on. Uh, there were four pilots in the cockpit on that crash. I think two of them were check airmen, and check airmen are those who train pilots, and they're like higher than captain or more experienced than captain. So these guys know the book, and because in their culture you're not supposed to question your superiors, the first officer was saying like, "Hey, like something's wrong," but he didn't voice it. And so that 777, perfectly good weather, nothing wrong with the plane, smacked right into the seawall and cartwheeled. And
Wow.
only one person died, which is blows my mind. And the crazy thing about this is I need to look it up, but I think the one person that died got run over by the fire truck
Yep.
rescuing.
I was about to say that. Yep. Got
Yeah.
ran over.
Imagine surviving an airplane crash. This was a huge jet. This was a 777, and it almost cartwheeled onto the runway. And these things
But
are coming in at like 150, 160 miles an hour, and then you die from a fire truck. That's so tragic, man.
by the way, did you guys see the news? What they reported the names to be of the
Oh yeah,
dude,
we talk
it
about
was
that all the time.
it was so fucking stupid. Holy fat or holy fuck or some shit like
Something
that.
Wong,
Yeah, something wrong.
we too low.
Pretty much. I don't know if you've seen that Kenny
I've
that.
seen it. That's
Oh, okay,
horrible.
dude.
Bang bang ding ow.
Yeah, it's so
Oh,
bad.
dude, I was
Um,
fucking crying.
so when you finally land and you arrive in these crazy ass places, what do you do? Do you go to like do you get to stay for like a couple days before you have to go off again? Like, do you get to enjoy
It's
these different
it's
states?
usually one night. Sometimes the layovers are 10 hours. Sometimes they're 20. Um, And yeah, it's always a van is ready for us at the curb. We walk out to the van, they drive us to the hotel, and then I would say 80% of the time you're with crews that just are just like, okay, nice flying with you, good night, and then it's over. The other 20% like actually want to do something and like maybe go get food, restaurant, or go check out some place if you're at a cool location. Um, like just recently, I was in San Diego on the water. It's beautiful. Go for a walk, go get dinner, and then I just got checked out to fly to Hawaii. So now we stay at really nice hotels there. So it's just it's really it's really it's cool. It's like
Everything's
you
taken
like
care of, right?
yeah, like you don't
That's
have to
awesome.
pay if you're at work, right? So like you like I was staying on the Big Island, and it's just like holy shit, like I'm getting paid to do this.
That's
Like
awesome, man.
it's just surreal.
It is salary, right? So they're not paying you hourly to just sit on an
No,
island.
it's hourly. It's
Holy
hourly.
shit.
Yeah.
That's not
You mean like oh no. When you it's only hourly when the main cabin door closes and the parking
oh,
brake
okay.
is released. And it's you're paid from cabin door, all the doors close on the plane, and then the parking brake is released. And then you stop getting paid when you pull into the gate. Parking brake is set, and one of the doors opens.
Oh wow. Okay. So I mean, who cares at that point? You're getting to stay in Hawaii. You're getting,
Yeah, no,
you
but
know,
we do get per diem. So every
oh,
hour
awesome.
that you're away from home, it's like $2.30. It adds up because we're away from home like 200. Is it 200? I think like 200 hours a month, probably
Oh
more.
wow. And you can
Damn.
save all that up.
Because you total it, right? If you're on a 4-day trip, right, it's 24 hours, 48 hours. Yeah, so and yeah,
For
that's meant for like food and stuff, but it's non-taxable, so it's like an extra 500-600 bucks a month.
Hey, so
sure.
how was it to fly like your family for the first time, or like your parents?
Oh, you saw
Was it?
that?
Yeah, was that recently?
Yeah.
By the way,
Yeah, that was 2 weeks ago. Dude,
I was.
crazy stories, man. Like the I did all my flight training and instructing in Hawaii. I get checked out to fly to Hawaii. So it's like, wow, full circle.
Yeah.
The day I get scheduled to do that flight is my mom's birthday, just by chance. So I'm like, oh, mom, dad, I've never flown them before. Do you want to come on my first flight to Hawaii and also the first time me flying you on your birthday? And we get to stay at the nice hotel and get dinner in Hawaii. Like it's just like so
Dude,
awesome that I got the
That's
chance to do
awesome,
that.
dude.
that's
And then
fantastic.
they sang happy birthday to my mom and just like coming into Hawaii because remember I haven't been there since I was instructing. So now 3 years, 4 years later, seeing the Hawaiian Islands again and being like, holy shit, this like I remember being a little Cessna down there, like, and now I'm in a big jet with 180 people behind me, and it's like,
And you
um,
got your family.
and my mom and dad, first time
Yeah.
flying them, and it was just real cool. The during the flight, we get a call from the flight attendants, and the flight attendant is like, "Hey, your dad wants to know if we're there yet." It's just like,
That's
That's
awesome.
and
hella fit.
so
That's
and
full circle
so
too.
yeah, and so on my announcement, I was like, "All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be descending down, and to answer Dad's question, we'll be there in 25 minutes."
That's awesome.
It's
That's
That's
just
so
like,
fucking.
cool.
it's
That's
just
dope.
really
Hey,
cool.
hey, I wanted to ask you, bro. I don't know if you've ever seen the picture of, or the video of the dude. He airdrops a picture of the pilot hanging out of the window, and he airdrops it to everyone in the. It's a
Oh,
fake picture.
yeah, the Photoshop one, yeah,
Yeah. So
that was fire.
have you ever been airdropped just random pictures?
No, we're not supposed to use your phones when we're in the cockpit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have iPads that have all of our like maps and stuff on it, but we have to put it in airplane mode. And it's
there was a video of a pilot saying um we'll basically turn the plane around if this person keeps sending or airdropping naked
yeah,
pictures.
I think I did see that. Yeah. Dude, there's
Dude,
hilarious there's a video of on YouTube of a pilot in San Jose and the mic got stuck. You can
uh-huh.
YouTube it. It's hilarious. He's like, I fucking hate coming to California. All they drive is fucking Hyundais and shit. And it's like it's like he's like, you're not a man unless you're rolling coal, bitch. It's just like it's
Oh
so
hell
funny.
no.
And then air traffic control has to come on and be like, hey, stuck mic, stuck mic. It's like
Oh shit.
That's awesome.
uh,
um, kind of just going off topic a little bit, but not really. When you land, I know you only say sometimes you have a couple hours, 10 hours, 20 hours. What's the protocol about like drinking?
yeah, so regulation wise, it's it's 8 hours, and so the to help us remember it, it's 8 hours bottle to throttle. But just because it's 8 hours doesn't mean that all your blood has filtered the alcohol. So like if you drink at like Denver, 8 hours might not be enough because of the high altitude,
The high altitude.
and
Okay.
your blood is less oxygenated ox that word, um,
This guy flies
and
with planes, everybody.
yeah, I know, tongue tied right there. Um, so it's like it just depends on it depends on the person. Some
Do they
people
test you
handle it
though,
better.
or like
Oh
before you
yeah,
get
they
on?
do. We do random, drug tests and stuff.
Okay, but they don't like
Okay.
breathalyze you before you get on the plane every flight.
No, no, heck no. But that's part of before every flight we have to say we're fit for duty. We have to like
Okay.
sign our
Hey,
name and all.
does
Oh, wow.
does turbulence affect you guys like it does the passengers?
Dude, it's so weird. When you're at the controls, turbulence is way less like alarming, because like you're in control, and so
Yeah,
you feel the air, you know what's going on. But I'm sure for people in the back, yeah, it's always, if you're not in you look, you're in a metal tube, you're going 550 miles an hour, and the turbulence happens. Of course, I think a lot of the fear just comes from you're not in control, like you're kind of just at the mercy
I
of
like
nature.
okay.
I like turbulence, but I'm also a huge like I love roller coaster, I love adrenaline and stuff.
Freak.
So
Yeah, you're a
yeah,
Yeah.
freak.
I'm like I kind of hope there's some turbulence. So give me a roller coaster ride,
Yeah,
give me a
no,
ride here.
you definitely don't want severe turbulence. I hope I never fly through that. That's where like the plane will drop 1,000 feet, and like the drink carts will fly up into the ceiling.
Oh shit.
Those things weigh like 600 pounds,
Yeah,
and so
I've
like
had I have some bad ones where I mean I felt it drop, and you're like, holy shit, okay. But then you kind of like get I don't know. It almost feels like you're kind of like doing one of these things, like that ride that Tony hates at California Adventure.
Yeah, fuck that. Like what was it called? Galaxy's Edge or something? What was it
No,
called?
no,
Guardians of the
no,
Galaxy. There you go.
there you go. Yeah,
oh yeah,
Yeah.
that one. Oh, you don't like that feeling? Yeah, no, turbulence. What I always say to people about this is like, when you drive over a speed bump in your car at 5 miles an hour, what does it feel like? Just
You're
like a
floating. Yeah, like you're
just like a little ba-doom.
yeah.
If you drive over that same speed bump at 200 miles an hour, what is it gonna feel like?
nothing.
Bam! Right?
have
So
you have you
turbulence,
had shit like that before?
no,
No.
no. I mean, there's been moderate turbulence where people have like thrown up and stuff, but it's it, turbulence isn't really moving the plane that much. Um, normal, usual turbulence. The only reason why it feels violent is just because of how fast we're going.
Gotcha. See,
Talking
that
about
makes a
this,
lot of sense too.
like the
What
speed
about
bump.
Mile High Club?
Like, have I,
Is it
or is
no, is that it?
oh
Is that more common than people like think it is? Because it's
yeah,
always
there's
one of
no,
those like
you
taboo
can't
things.
do it now. You see how small those
I barely
bathrooms
fit in
are?
the motherfucker. Yeah, I'll say I
I know, dude. My
The
fucking
only
ass is
yeah,
touching the door when I'm fucking taking a shit, dude.
what?
how are you taking a
Yeah.
shit?
Oh, like when I pull my shit back up, I turn around.
Okay,
You
there
know
you
what
go.
I'm
He's like
No,
handstand.
confused by this.
Jesus Christ, Jason Bourne.
saying? Fucking
Has your
doing a
shit
handstand,
stains
taking
all
a
over the
shit.
door.
Forget to wipe my
No,
ass. There's fucking shit stains on the door.
private jets, 100% that's happening all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Think about it. You're a rich dude with a jet. Oh yeah.
easily. I mean, you probably wouldn't have to go into the fucking bathroom to do that.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Hey,
But
so what do you do?
not on
Do you,
airliners.
oh, go ahead, Tony. Go.
No, I
I
was
got
gonna
you.
say, what do you do during when the plane is in autopilot? Is
Oh,
there like a
we're skipping that. I'm going back to what I'm asking.
all
What's
right,
the
go.
weirdest shit you guys find on a plane after?
After?
Like in the
Well,
like
he
on the plane. I mean, you're already gone, I guess, huh? So you don't sit there and like clean up or not clean up, but like sit around. But what's the
No, yeah.
craziest story then? Like anything weird that they ever found, like that someone forgot in a seat?
Um,
or like a pilot
mm,
or co-pilot's left behind maybe in the cockpit, or
dude,
do they clean that shit out?
there's stories like online that you can see where it's like, I think a pilot got fired because he was like jacking off in the cockpit,
Oh,
and like with the first officer right next to them, it was a girl too,
oh,
and it's just like,
Oh, they were
what?
fucking then, bro. They were fucking.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I know, right? Because it's like, what is? How do you get that comfortable?
that's
Yeah,
like 8
exactly.
hours or however long you're flying too. Like
Yeah. So no, there's not from passengers. Yeah, no,
Is there cameras in the cockpit?
no. But everything is being recorded audio wise.
why don't
Okay.
we have cameras on the planes? Like why and not only that, why do we not have like special agents on every single plane? Why do not there's no security on every plane?
Or how about, why aren't pilots tipped? Think about it.
Hey,
You
that's a
tip
good one
you
too, bro.
If you're gonna you tip a Lyft driver. Why wouldn't you tip someone that flies you
That's
thousands of
true. I
miles?
never thought about that.
Me
That's
neither,
good.
dude.
I always say thank you. I'm like, fucking thank you for
No, I
making it
know.
here.
I'm not.
Now I feel
I'm not.
bad.
I'm not no, I'm not asking for it. It's not. I'm just saying it's so weird how it never became part of the culture. Like you tip all the time, but
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you don't tip someone that helps you at a store. So that's
no,
always
right,
that
right.
weird
That's
thing.
what I'm saying. So it's like you tip. Usually it's transportation. Like you tip your, shuttle driver, your van driver. You tip the bartender. You tip the waiter. But it's like why don't you tip flight attendants? Like, shouldn't like the flight attendant is a waitress or waiter
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
sky,
And if
That's
anything,
true.
they're like some of the best ones you're gonna get.
and
They're on
they're
top of
not.
their shit.
Yeah, and they're not just waitresses and waiters. They like, dude, becoming a flight attendant is not like all peaches and
Easy. Yeah.
roses.
You have
Like
to take
there's
classes
so
and
much.
shit.
Yeah, there's so much stuff you gotta know, like evacuation wise and safety wise and protocol and all this stuff. So it's not just serving drinks. There's like actually a lot. So it's like I hate American tipping culture. Like I just hate it. Like it's like
Hmm.
I don't.
It's one-sided.
80% of the time, I'm tipping out of guilt. It's like very
Yeah.
very rarely
That's
do I
fucking
get
true.
service where it's like, dude, I wanna pay you more because you went above and beyond for me. That's what tipping is meant to be, right? You went above and beyond. You did more than the minimum. But if you're just gonna drive me to the hotel, that was the bare minimum. If you drive me to the hotel and then also stop on Starbucks on the way to be like, hey, you guys want something or something, or
Yeah.
I don't know, like
Give
do
you a
something
tour of
cool, or
on their
like
way there, like, "Hey, this is from" like, almost like a tour guide style, like,
yeah,
"Hey, this
just
place
something
is"
above and beyond.
yeah.
Anything above and beyond. Anything other than the mundane of just doing what you're supposed to do. Like I hate tipping culture. And I love like in other countries, tipping is like offensive because
Yeah.
it's like, "Oh, you think I don't make enough?" It's like so it's just so weird. Like I would think pilots should be the most tipped because we're like think about how many people we're flying, right? Imagine if everyone tips $1.
Yeah.
That'd
It's
be
like
cool.
That's at
I'm not
least
I'm
a
not
dollar.
I'm not advocating for it. I'm not saying, but I do think that it should
No,
have
it's
been
a
part
great
of the
point. Yeah,
culture.
that's a great point. I never thought of
So,
it like
my
that.
thing about tipping for me personally is, like, sometimes I could do this stuff myself. I'm not that lazy where I can't go get my own water. But at the same
Right.
time, like, I am going to a restaurant to sit down to get that service, and if you get really shitty service, I hope that you're not gonna tip. But at the same time, at what point do we have to have that conversation with the server? And where so what do you this is off topic, obviously. Where do you stand of being like not being a total Karen and bitching at somebody, but telling them like, hey, you know what? This is corrective criticism. I'm giving you this tip and I'm gonna explain to you why. So the future that you
I
are
You
gonna
think
you would do some shit like that,
I'm
dude.
just saying if
yeah.
you expect me to
Uh,
pay you or tip you because like you were saying, Mike, is that like it's almost expected or you feel guilted into giving
into
someone a
doing
tip,
it.
even though it's a shitty job. There's times like I'll go to Dutch Brothers and they literally walk
First of all, no one calls it that.
Dutch
No
Bros,
one.
sorry, brother.
There you go. Anyway, go ahead.
And they'll put the little iPad in your face. You're the one swiping the card. You're the one
Super
tapping it.
Smash Brothers.
Right? And it's like, and they're like, "Oh, do you want a tip?" And then I sit there, I'm like, no, I don't. I'm not even up to like you're not even the person making my
Oh yeah.
drink.
I
It's
don't I
weird.
don't ever tip if I'm getting stuff to go. Like
That's your guess.
if I go into Subway and I order a sandwich, why am I tipping you?
Yeah.
Like you didn't go above and beyond.
Yeah.
And
I
you're getting
just
paid
so
you're getting paid to make the sandwich.
right. And so I think maybe people don't tip to come back. I think because pilots always have made really good money. So I think that's why the tipping never. We don't need tipping. I'm just saying it's so weird how it works, where it's like, why do we tip this but not this? So
Yeah.
yeah,
See,
I'm very
I was gonna say I understand what you're saying is because you guys don't want it, but it's weird because of the American culture of tipping, like as
But
far as
people do deserve
transportation.
tips though.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
not against it. I just don't wanna feel like I have to do it.
yeah,
It's my money at the
exactly,
end of the fucking
exactly.
day. And if I chose to go
Yeah,
to your establishment to eat and drink, that's on me. But at the
Yeah.
end
yeah.
of the day, it's still my wallet and still my money.
See, when I worked at when I was a barista, it literally was at first it was good tips was something that we kind of wanted because our pay wasn't that good, but once we got our full medical and our raise and all that stuff, tips wasn't really necessarily something we looked forward to anymore, but at the same time we were getting very good tips. But I seen our tips when we had people at the register that weren't friendly, that were pieces of shit, and just treating these people just like, okay, hot coffee, go. Like I took the time because I'm a people person. And we took the time to, hey, how's your day going? We get into like a mini conversation, get their drink, tell them where to go after that, and then that's when they tip me, and then I'm like, okay, like I did my job as a customer service person to receive that tip. So I felt better about that tip. Now people just throw fucking change in there when people don't tip at all. I don't look at them differently because I didn't really do anything to deserve a tip. But there's people out there who they'll throw $5 in there even though I didn't do much, and I feel bad. Like I'll go up to them, do you want anything?
What about if you go to the restaurant and the server is total ass, but the fucking person in the back that made the best fucking food you ever had in your life?
Oh, just bring him the money.
That's what I'm saying.
Would you have the balls to say, here, give this to the cook?
Yeah, exactly.
Me personally, yes. But would I do that? No. I would walk back there and I would walk back there. And if someone asked me why, I would obviously have to explain why this person, like, yeah, you're the best fucking cook I've ever had or chef I've ever had, and the person out front's not doing any justice for you. But I'm also about that life. Like, I think people need to be held accountable.
I'm generally non-confrontational.
I am too. I like to keep it to myself.
If I don't want to tip someone,
I work hard at my job, and I do give that perfect customer service every single time I work. And that's how I was raised in life and as a human being. So when I go out and I'm being just the most amazing person I can be towards you, and you're still giving me a shitty experience, fuck you. And that's what I think it is. And don't get me wrong, I'm not out there like telling everybody, hey man, you suck ass, there's no tip. I'm just not going to tip and walk away unless it's really that bad to the point where I'm like, dude, I can't come here anymore. Even though this is my favorite restaurant, I can't come here because that person, like, I don't want to get sat at that table. And I've had an experience at Disneyland, and it's the weirdest place to have an experience like that, because if you go to Disneyland, you're expecting to get the best. And once again, you're paying $600-700 per ticket or per however long you're going to go. You kind of expect to have.
Oh my god!
Yeah, you want
Disney
the perfect.
is so expensive.
It is. So not saying I don't tip, and I'm not against it. I'm not a Karen. I don't walk back there and do all that shit. I think I just talk a big game sometimes. But at the same time, I just want the same respect back that I'm giving everybody, because I respect the server. I respect the cook. I respect the person that walks me to my table. They don't tip that person, by the way. And I don't know if anyone ever worked in a restaurant, but that person has to learn every single table, make sure that they're marking down how many people are at that table, remember the numbers, and then remember where they're sitting, and helping the other two people that are sitting those people too. So it's complicated, especially when it gets super busy. We should be tipping them sometimes.
I'm Marcus, and I approve this message.
Right?
Hey, so you're a new father now. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
How's it feel, bro? How's it feel to be a dad, man?
I now can say, like, because when people say like, oh, it's like she's gonna melt your heart, or like you're gonna feel melted. It's one thing to hear it, and then it's another thing to like actually like feel it. It's like, damn, I hate leaving for work now. Like, I never had that feeling before, and now it's like, I don't want to go to, like, it's just like, even though it's my dream job, it's like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
It's like especially when the smiling, the newborn smiling just destroys you.
Yeah. How many people are you gonna eventually have to fight off when she's a little older? Shit like that.
My goal is to like do like some of those memes where it's like me taking my daughter to a 6-star restaurant so your dusty ass boyfriend can't impress her with.
Hell yeah,
something like that. Yeah, no. That's the thing though, like, I feel like I've had really good examples, so I kind of know like what to do and like what not to do. Like, a dad should have date nights with their daughter, like from an early age, from very early age, so that way they just get used. That way they don't seek it out where they don't need it.
And you want to be the role model in their life too. So you want, I want someone. Well, I don't want them to date someone like me, but like I don't know. I'm just saying, like, you want them to be yeah, honestly, just date someone that's like you in the future and have goals and have all their shit together. And I think
Yeah,
you're exactly right. By taking them out and doing those little things with them is it's going to give them a glimpse of what they should be looking for
Yeah,
in the future.
hmm
the respect factor that you
Yeah,
show them
exactly.
to be a lady or what, you know, whatever the case may be,
yeah,
but do you
dude.
show them that respect early age, and they're gonna want that kind of respect in a man, you know?
Yeah, and dude, 80% of America's problems could be solved if parents actually did what they were supposed to do and just
Do their
parented.
job.
Like,
Yep.
dude, like I saw a funny shirt. It was like, I was spanked as a kid, and now I suffer from a mental illness known as respect for others.
Yep.
And it's
Dude, seriously, dude.
like, it's
Oh
like
man.
I if there's so many kids that grow up without a dad or a mom. A mom is important for one functionality and dynamic, and a dad is important for another. And it's like
Mhm.
it's dude, so many of the problems would be solved if like I'm sure all of our parents, imagine if every kid had parents like all of ours and actually did what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, I
And
agree. And I'm in a great situation in my life, and I was like, my dad worked his ass off. My mom raised us. My dad would come home on the weekends and be with us, even though I know he was tired and had to wake up and do things over and over again. He would still get up, barbecue, take us out to the park, and do all those things that he was supposed to do. Even though as an adult now, like I respect him more because of that. But I'm like, dude, you could have laid on the couch and just been just MIA because of how hard you
Yeah,
work. And I'm
yeah,
glad he wasn't like that because it really makes a difference. And that's something I try to do with my kids. Like I go to work certain days I have like a late start or a late shift. And in the morning we wake up, we have our breakfast, and I take them down to the park, and we're learning to ride bikes right now. We're in that stage. And I do that twice a week on both of my late starts. And it's the biggest joy, like you said, with that smile. When you just see the honestly, the coolest thing is the progression from going the
yeah,
first time of him not knowing how to steer to the next time him steering and going
yeah,
faster and faster and faster. Last time he went down a hill. He finally learned how to use his brakes, and then we turned around, and this was the coolest thing, man. I told him to go up the hill. I didn't help him out, and I was in his ear and telling him to push it, push it, push it. And I got to actually have that conversation where I told my son never to give up, and it was the most awesome thing ever in life. So there's
yeah,
different things that you do as a dad that you learn from your father and that you want to do better. And it's sad when you see people that don't do better than their parents, or they didn't have that figure to show them what better is, and they neglect their child. And don't get me wrong, I'm not the perfect dad. I get angry at times, and it's a learning experience for you as it is for them. And you got to remember too, at the end of the day, their brain is developing, and they have so many emotions that they don't know what the fuck
yeah.
to do with.
So fast,
Mhm.
Yeah, and you
so
got to be
fast.
you got to be in control of your emotions so that they can see what to do. And it took me a
Yeah,
little bit to learn that. And it's and I'm not afraid to say that. I love my kids, and I think the world of them, and it's so cool that I get to be a dad. Like, fucking awesome. So,
yeah,
congratulations. It's gonna
yeah.
be a
No,
roller
thank
coaster,
you.
but
I can't
just
wait.
stay
I was
focused.
I was gonna say it's kind of weird right now in this first stage because it's just kind of like your only job is to just help them survive.
Yeah,
Because
Yeah.
it's like
yep,
there's
yep.
like
Don't make sure
there's
they don't roll
no
off the bed and choke.
there's no like personality, like true personality yet,
Mhm.
or it's just feed them, change them, make them sleep.
Yep.
So yeah, I can't wait for the personality to start showing.
Yeah,
And
and
it's
you'll see
gonna
it.
come quick, bro.
I was
It's
You'll
gonna
see it
come
come
quick.
early. My favorite stage so far is one of my children. He's 4, and he'll be 5 in March. And so far, this is my favorite stage, but at the same time, it's kind of hard because he's his own person now, and he's realizing that he's his own person. So he
Yeah,
has he's kind of like me, where he's just, if he's set on something, like, get the fuck out of his way because that's what he wants to do. And then if it doesn't go the right way, he just like, I don't know, man. It's not that he self destructs. He's just like, what the fuck do I do? And you can see it in his face.
yeah,
Yeah, and then he'll try it and try it and try it and try it. But what we did as parents, and I'm no offense to anybody out there, but I actually don't give a fuck what you guys do. Um, we're not iPad parents. We don't do that shit.
Oh, dude,
Fuck that.
think of what did thousands of other tens of millions of other kids do before the iPad?
Right. Dude,
Yeah.
I remember going to oh man, see, these are those memories. I don't remember shit from my childhood, but except for certain things. I remember my dad getting off work. We went on the weekend to this bike shop and he told me to go pick out a fucking bike. Anything I wanted. And I remember picking out this GT high performance bike. And I shit you not, once I got that bike home, no one knew who the fuck I was. I was gone. I had to ride. I used to ride my bike with the guy across the street or the kid across the street, and we would just go for hours and hours and hours. Never had to run inside to play Nintendo or any of that bullshit. And
Yeah.
and that's what it is. Like
Whoa! Nintendo's not bullshit.
yeah. No.
I know,
Don't get me wrong. I play games too,
I'm
and
just
we do have a family game night. That's another thing too. Like we play board games and we do watch like we'll watch TV like shows together as a family, but it's not 24/7 on something or 24/7 on like the TV on. If I have anything on, it's music. I think music
Yeah.
is the best thing ever. We have we have the surround sound playing like 24/7. That thing is on, and it's cool because you'll see my youngest. He just turned 2, and yesterday something came on. I can't remember what it was, but randomly came on. And you just look over at him. He starts dancing. But not even noticing he's dancing. Like he's playing with like blocks, and then he just kind of like starts like shaking his ass and like twisting his leg, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, so the weird thing is like I have no rhythm at all. The 4-year-old has
At
no
all.
at all. The 4-year-old has no fucking rhythm at all. But somehow this 2-year-old has the fucking moves. So it's cool to see them just kind of grow, and you never know what the fuck they're gonna do or be or who they are. But you just gotta maintain a perfect life balance for them and guide them into the
do
right
your
area.
best. Yeah.
Exactly.
Do your best.
Yeah.
Be present.
Yep.
That's the main thing, man. Be present. I thank my dad every day for being there.
I got a question, kind of off topic because we kind of start getting weird and deep.
Sorry.
Talk about planes and kids. Who the fuck talks about that on the podcast? So I'm gonna throw like a wrench in it. First, do you watch horror movies?
Not really, but there are some good ones that I enjoy, like Hereditary.
I haven't seen
That was a really good movie.
See, we need to start watching like scary
Yeah,
movies like that,
yeah.
bro. I don't even know
So
what the fuck it is,
I don't
but
know.
it sounds
sounds
good.
scary. Yeah. If
Yeah.
if you were to hang
Yeah.
out with like one like iconic horror villain or like killer, who would it be? Just to hang out for the day.
Hang out. Am I gonna be alive at the end of the day?
Yeah, no, your best
Yeah.
best
Yeah,
friend.
he's your buddy, dude.
He's like,
we're
hey
best
brother,
friends.
what are you
Yeah,
doing
You
tonight?
guys are
Like,
day
I have a
ones.
free
dude.
day. Yeah,
We're just
this person has a
boys.
free day. Yeah,
Yeah.
free day off from killing.
Casper. Just kidding.
Hey, that might be fire
Not really a
too, dude.
villain, but I could see it.
No. Shit, I don't know. The clown.
It?
Pennywise.
Pennywise.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That'd be
bro.
fun. That'd be fun to like fuck with people.
I was talking to a buddy about it yesterday, and he said Dracula, and then I was like, well, why? And he's like, dude, all the knowledge that you can gain from just talking to Dracula, because he's been around for hundreds and hundreds of years, and then not only that too, he can tell you how to get your millions and how you can pull bitches. Like he knows all. It's Dracula. And then I think it was on our other podcast or on our friends podcast OG55. It was pretty much the joke is like if you're a vampire and you've been around for 1,000 years and you're still broke, just step out into the sunlight. Like
Yeah,
you fucked up somewhere. You have a thousand
Imagine
years
being
to
a poor a vampire, dude. That's just crazy. Hey, so
the coolest
no, go ahead.
villain is the coolest villain of all time is Sauron.
Who?
Sauron from Lord of the Rings.
Oh shit! Oh yeah, I always forget that you're a huge Lord of the Rings fan. I always forget. Did you watch Ring of Power?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, I was just about to say it. I'm pretty sure you're pissed off about that because a lot of people were. I didn't think it was good at all, especially it coming after. House of the Dragon.
That's episode 2 with Micah.
Yeah, I know. By the way, we are gonna have you on for some Game of Thrones talk and some Lord of the Rings talk in the future.
Hell
So
yeah.
Speaking of Lord of the Rings, did you hear about the cards when they came out? The Magic the Gathering cards?
Oh my god! Don't.
How
I'm gonna get
crazy is
I'm
that?
gonna get canceled.
So I bought a pack just because I love the art. I think Magic the Gathering is some of the coolest artwork. And I saw the Lord of the Rings one. I'm like, oh, this is dope. And I'm like, you know what? My dumb luck will actually get the fucking ring in there, which didn't happen, obviously. But I bought this pack and I opened up, and the cards were just fucking awesome. But then at the end of it, I'm like, I spent $30 on this. I got like 5 cards. What am I doing with my life? That could have been fucking a full-on organic chicken at Costco.
They changed. I don't know anything about that other than they just completely changed Aragorn for
Really?
no reason. Yeah.
Like, what do you mean they changed like his look or
look, person, everything?
Damn. Yeah. Before we get out of here, we usually ask our guests one question, random question, and we wanted to ask you what is the first thing you would buy if you won the lottery? Now, houses aside, investments aside, cars aside, or not even cars, just one big purchase that you would make if you won the lottery.
Something for yourself that you'd always wanted.
Yeah.
A wealth manager.
A wealth manager?
Wealth
like someone
manager.
to keep track of your money?
To take care of all that money. To build it, to make sure it's always there.
So
you can just
investment. Like you were like, this is it. So put it this way, you win the lottery and they're like, bro, you need to spend this like right now. You have 24 hours to spend this $1 billion, but it can't be multiple things. It has to be on one thing.
I want to make sure that money is always there for the rest of my life. A wealth
manager. Buy a 787.
Yeah, I was gonna say buy a jet or something.
I'll buy an RGB computer like that.
There you go. Okay. Well,
the most decked out I could possibly make.
I know, right, dude. That'd be fine. Like a fucking $100,000 computer.
I got a good question then. Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Does it belong?
Do you eat pineapple on pizza?
Yeah.
There you go. We got to start keeping tally of this. And
okay, no, hold up. shut your ass up. Okay, it's considered Hawaiian style pizza, right? In here, do they do that in Hawaii? They put pineapple. Is that something they do?
Yeah, you can find that. Yeah, dude, you steal a pineapple from the pineapple field, it's like a $500 fine, and like you go to jail.
Holy shit!
Yeah, they protect those things.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Well, pineapples
dude.
don't grow that fast, and isn't it only like a couple?
And the road that goes through the Dole plantation is just like no fence, no, like you could easily walk onto the field and pull one.
That's
pull it up.
That was always weird thing, like driving around California. You have all these like almond trees and apple trees, but they're like right on the highway. All that fucking pollution and everything, and it's just going into those plants, into that land.
Yeah,
no one ever thinks about that. It's fucking weird.
One
more question, then I'm done because I'll keep doing this. I'll just one more question the whole time. Hot wings. When you get hot wings, do you get flats? Do you get the drumsticks, or do you get the, what do they call them, Tony? What are those other ones that are shaped like this?
Boneless chicken nuggets or boneless chicken wings. Sorry,
boneless wings. Yeah.
Do you order like classic style with the bone in, or do you get the boneless chicken wings?
When I have hot wings, I am in agonizing pain for like 30 minutes because I'm allergic to poultry.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, shit.
So I've never met anyone that also has that allergy. That's why I got discharged from the Air Force for that.
Wow. No way, dude. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I haven't had it in like 15 years. I love the taste. I know that, but you know when you wring a wet towel, like dry it. That's what it feels like on my esophagus tube. It feels like someone just like like wringing it. I don't know why. Just allergic.
That is weird. I don't think
I'm
I've ever
sorry.
met
I'm
anyone with
sorry. I
this
can't
issue.
answer that question.
No,
Yeah, what the
you're good,
fuck? Who
bro.
invited this guy on here? Holy shit!
Oh
What?
man,
You know what's crazy? In our whole life, we're never gonna get this again.
no, ever.
Nope.
We're
Someone who's allergic to poultry. Yeah, I
can't
know.
answer our that's our staple question. Like that is our
yeah.
go-to question on here.
I know. I guarantee you, there's never going to be another person that answers
Nope.
it like that.
So
So
let me ask you,
poorly.
if you're so okay, so we can still do this. We got this. When you order, when you order these magical things that are made out of poultry that are circular and they're called hot boneless wings, is that a fucking wing still, or is that a chicken nugget?
I would say it's a boneless wing.
Why?
Really? Yeah, explain
Well,
this
because
to me.
being a poultry expert myself, I would say it's a wing because it's called. I would say it's a boneless wing because it's being sold as a boneless wing.
Yeah,
Boom,
But it's a
that's the
fucking
best answer.
chicken nugget.
boom.
But if you put hot sauce on it now, if you put hot sauce on anything, is it just a fucking hot wing? Just
Pretty
because
much.
it has
If
hot
you
sauce
if
on it?
you if you put hot sauce on a lamb chop, is it no longer a chop? Is it now
Well, what
like
if you take the bone out of it and make it into a ball?
Okay, we're you guys are
yeah,
confusing the
yeah?
fuck out of me.
These are very bad thoughts.
Yes,
Yeah.
for yeah, we'll wrap it up there, guys. Appreciate you coming on, Micah. Always a
Of
pleasure.
course.
You know you're more than welcome to come back on. Matter of fact, we're gonna have you on for those Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones and House of Dragon talk. So keep
Hell
schedule
yeah.
open. But yeah,
Hell
man,
yeah.
where can they find you at?
At Michael Wailana right here on the screen, if it is on the screen. Again, this is my
It
first podcast.
is is that on Instagram or
Yeah, Instagram.
Instagram? All right, for sure. Candy
Cool.
Camper, where can they find you?
Yeah, you can find me the Candy Camper on Twitter, X, and then also on YouTube. And then you can follow us at the Bad Thoughts Podcast on Spotify now.
Yeah, guys, you can find me at Tones_TV on all platforms, and yeah, go follow the podcast on YouTube and Spotify and TikTok. All right, guys, love y'all.
Thank you guys.